Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Court is back in session. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who pretty soon might need his own emotional support Metroid, Mr. Drew Celestino.
They're not good for that. They just suck the life out of you more.
Well, I mean...
That's why they're the most dangerous beings in the galaxy.
But this one will be emotionally supportive.
So, it's basically like the baby from Super Metroid in that it will protect me from all threats.
Sure.
It will see me as its mother.
Kind of.
And then, in my hour of need, it will latch itself onto me after sucking the life force out of my aggressor, and then give me the life force, thus giving me the super laser.
I mean, maybe.
All right.
All I know is emotional support.
Yeah.
That's the extent.
I could use some.
Here we are, sir, back again. Another episode. How was your week?
Well, you've seen what I'm living with still.
Yes.
We're on the track to completion, but we're still not done.
You know what your kitchen reminds me of?
What's
it reminds me of the old instruction booklets for the original Transformer toys. How it shows you how to transform said toy.
Yeah.
And each picture is a different phase of transformation.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what your kitchen's like right now.
But we're not at the end phase yet.
You're getting close.
We're closer.
You're getting
closer. And on top of that, the new and improved Cobra Island Studios took a giant step forward as well this week.
Ooh, we got a Firebat dome?
No, that'd be cool.
We're going to get one though, right?
I mean, no. I don't know how it could exactly come out of the basement, but
I wanted a dome that a Firebat would come out of.
I mean, we can get a ceremonial Firebat toy if it helps.
Pointed.
Thank you, Kevin Sorbo. I'm sorry, but it has walls. 4 of them.
Yeah, the room we're in now has 4 walls.
Yeah, but this one will be better. Bigger.
I'm still not hearing Firebat dome.
Well, I can't help you there. I'm sorry. Right. It was a little out of the budget, especially with the impending delivery of the child in a few weeks.
All right.
Firebat dome. The rocking chair you're sitting in right now.
Do I get to fly the Firebat?
No, you're not qualified.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Of the two of us, which one actually owned a Terror Dome? Drome.
Number 1, say it right. Number 2, that's irrelevant. I know we joked that you can fly your pilot, but you're not actually a pilot.
Listen. Top Gun, the Nintendo game, taught me anything.
That you can't land.
I could fly. It's just taking off and landing.
So you're basically Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Fly, yes.
It's not bad.
Land, no.
No. So don't feel bad. No one ever landed that damn plane.
Quick question before we get back to your week. Did they ever release... I know they release it in anniversary sets and whatnot. Did they ever release a standalone Firebat in the original G.I. Joe run? Or
I don't think so.
Only get it as part of the Terrordrome?
I think it was only part of the Terrordrome, but we had technology. I can Google this.
As you're Googling it, continue to tell us about your week.
Oh, I mean, this has really been it. The coolest thing that happened really this week was Jen's coworkers threw us a little baby shower.
Nice.
It was very unexpected and very nice. It was
More
15
showers.
people, and just lunch and drinks and more stuff. Stuff
Stuff is stuff.
Stuff is stuff. So it was very nice though. They didn't have to do that, and it was pretty cool that they did. So cool. It was pretty good. Other than that, pretty much low key. We had a game night. We played Dice Forge.
Yes,
that was enjoyable. Cool game. Customizable dice. What a concept.
Yeah, good. Really good pace game.
Yeah, it moved along pretty nicely. Let's see. I got the Firebat up. And let's see what Yojo.com has to say about it. Aha. Okay, the Firebat was first released with the Cobra Terrordrome at the U.S. toy stores in 1986. It included the Firebat Pilot AVAC, and it was also sold in 1987 and discontinued domestically in 1988. That's a little vague as to if it was sold independently or not. This is it was sold in, so that could be the Terradrome as well. But new paragraph. From 1988 to 1993, the Firebat was available via mail order from Hasbro Direct, but it was a brighter red rather than the original maroon. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Cool.
So now we know more about the Firebat.
And knowing is half the battle.
I heard that somewhere before.
Yes.
So anyway, Dice Forge was cool. And then I also got a chance to watch the Devin Townsend Project Ocean Machine live Blu-ray on Saturday night. Or was it Sunday night? Whichever. Oh my God. Number one, that record is basically a perfect album as it is. And the live version of it was, my God, I'm still like picking my jaw up off the floor. Holy cow. Just epic. Cool. Epic. Anytime music gets me in a mood, I will rave about it. And that was just one of those things where it's like, man, this record has been like one of my favorite records for a long time. It's never been played live in its entirety. So here it is from last year, or no, this year maybe even. Sonic boom, I believe, is the term I would use.
All right. Well,
so
it's funny considering what we're going to talk about later on in the show.
Okay. Well, there you go. That was my week. How about
cool.
What's going on?
My week was, like you said, we played Dice Forge Friday night. I tried Pad Thai for the first time.
You did. I'm so proud of you.
I really enjoyed it. It was very good.
Yeah.
I had it this past weekend again. Wasn't as good this time, but I got it mild, and clearly it needs a little bit of kick.
You need a little spice.
So that was really good. Dice Forge was fun.
Once you're on the path of the ethnic food, it's hard to go back. I'm just gonna warn you now.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like, steak and potato is just like, oh, is that all you got? Because,
Hey, I'm never going to kick a good steak out of Bedford and crackers.
No, but you're like, steak, we've had some good times, but perhaps we could invite a little spice into the room here.
So that was Friday. The rest of my week was pretty much just kind of focused on the new job and getting custom and whatnot. Lab coat. Yeah. So, yeah.
Dr. Mario.
Yes. It's me.
I'll have you know
Dr. Mario.
that I'm hearing the music in my head right now.
I never played Dr. Mario, so I don't know what the music sounds like.
Well, there's 3 different songs, but they're all good.
So, dear listener, if you'd like to tell us about your week, send us any questions or comments to the show, you can do so at the following locations. You can go to Twitter and follow us at Devils Do Pod. You can go to Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. Give us a like there. You can email us at thedevilsdupod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdupodcast.com. And Drew, that does bring us to questions for the week. We do have a couple questions, as usual, submitted by the wonderful supporters of the show. The When Harry Met Sally of the Devils Do.
Ooh.
Mr. J. Gelsomino, Mr. Alan Waiters, but we have an added bonus this week, Drew, for we are joined live and in person by Mr. Alan Waiters. Alan, welcome back to the courthouse.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
See, it's not just welcome back to the courthouse, Carl.
Welcome back to the country.
Welcome back to Los Estados Unidos.
Yes, I'm back in Colombian form.
Tell the people where you were, man.
Pretty much everywhere in Colombia. We started off in Bogota first, the capital of Colombia. We landed there, and then we went. It was my mother and I, and my mother's friend, and my mother's friend's from Colombia, so she invited us over there. And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." They had to worry about hotels or anything. But the first night we went there, we went to the Museum of Gold. It was pretty awesome because I've never seen like pure finite gold, like all the old gold that came from the Incan Empire went straight to Colombia, to Cartagena. All the emeralds. I didn't know Colombia was big in mining emeralds, but there's a lot of emeralds over there. I went to a mine that had a cathedral under the mine. It was pretty cool. and there was also emeralds down there, gold, and there was like a sanctuary everywhere. So there was a spot so people could to stop and worship, and it was pretty cool. Then the next day we went to Cartagena. Well, we flew to Cartagena, which was awesome. And it's just like picture the French Quarter of New Orleans. It was just like that.
Wow.
It was just incredible. I love like seeing old historical things. And when I saw the architecture, I was just blown away. And I posted a lot of pictures on my Facebook, so it was really, really, it was just really neat. And they had cannons everywhere because it was like a huge fort, because apparently Cartagena was considered the crown jewel of the Spanish Empire, because that's where they were all shipping all the gold and emeralds and spices to Spain. So that was like their huge fort. They had to protect it. There's like massive wall. There's cannons everywhere. I don't think they're working now, but there's cannons over there. But it was pretty awesome. It was an awesome trip. I really enjoyed it. I got to see a lot of little towns, and the people were so friendly. And yes, the Colombian coffee is the best in the world, hands down.
See, this is coming from a man who himself is a professed not a coffee drinker.
That's right.
So
Well, he was kind enough to bring us some back, so we're going to give this. We're going to give this a go.
We will definitely sample.
It's very nice.
When you were in Cartagena, did you stop and appreciate the fact that you were in the place where a large chunk of the film Romancing the Stone took place?
Oh yeah, I loved it. It was just I was like, man, this is where Joan Wilder was.
Joan Wilder.
Ant-Man was here.
Joan
He was
Wilder?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was here. That was pretty cool because, they have the old cobblestone roads too. They kept it very nice. It's considered one of the most historic places in all of the world. So, and they kept it pretty nice.
Awesome.
This little mule, Pepe. Love that movie.
But yeah.
All right, Alan, since you are here in person today, you were nice enough to send us in some questions, but that was before we decided to have you on site. So, you know what? You're here. Why don't you go ahead and just read your questions for us aloud?
All right. So, Carl Andrew, will you be picking up the new Fantastic Four comic tomorrow?
And at the time of people listening, it will be today. Yes. Yes, I will. The only question is, what cover do I want? Because there are many.
Go with Alex Ross.
Alex Ross is the safe bet. As I was remarking before we started recording, I'm also a big fan of the Art Adams cover, because Art Adams is a amazing artist who I almost feel goes underappreciated.
I will peruse the interiors and decide on the spot.
Okay.
Wow. So you're not all in.
I've never been a huge, I approach the Fantastic Four like music fans may approach the Beatles or Nirvana that might not listen to them regularly. I appreciate what they are and what they mean and what they represent, but I've never been a huge reader of Fantastic Four.
I think you need the Wade Waringo run in your life. I think you would really, really,
There's
really
a lot
enjoy
of stuff
it.
I got to read right now. It's just
That's an easy brush off. That's fair. That's fair.
listen. I'm sure it's quality, but it's read that or play Octopath Traveler.
I see your dilemma.
Yeah,
but considering, never mind. We'll circle back to Octopath.
if only all life's decisions were that difficult.
They're not.
All right. Follow-up question. What other titles do you recommend besides Saga?
Is this for both of us?
Oh, yes.
Just like comic titles.
Yes, comic titles.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's pretty well-tread ground for us.
It's just wrapping up, but it's continuing on in a new form. So this book called Descender by Jeff Lemire. Like I said, it's just ending, but its universe is continuing, and it's going to be called Ascender. So Descender just finished. I would say if you like Mass Effect crossed with E.T., crossed with Short Circuit, with a dash of the movie AI, that's kind of Descender. It's about like robots in the future that decide to take over all civilization and start killing humans. But a peace has to be brokered.
So Terminator. You
Yeah,
could have just said Terminator.
No, it's not. It's not like Terminator at all. Actually,
what
so
you describe sounds like a bad meth trip.
Well, because the main character is a robot boy.
Okay.
So like AI, he's like a robot companion for a family, and he also holds the key to stopping the war for whatever reason.
Okay.
And the way the war got kicked off was at a certain point in human history, or galactic history, I should say, because this is a galactic tale. Humans and machines coexisted fine, and then out of nowhere, giant planet-sized robots showed up in the solar system and like nuked a planet.
Like the Eternals?
Kind of like the Eternals, yeah, or the Celestials.
The Celestials, yeah.
Like that. And that kick-started the war. So humans immediately started to become distrustful of machines and started to reject them and started to scrap them, and it became like a thing, and there's like a robot homeworld now, and it's a really good series. So
Cybertron.
I strongly recommend Descender. That's a really great one. And I'll say it on the show a million times. Basically anything by Ed Brubaker is going to be worth your time. So Kill or Be Killed just ended. His latest series with Sean Phillips on the art, and it was excellent, as they almost always are. So whatever they do, I would recommend that to you. And that's good for now. Those two are some of my recent favorites.
I will say from Marvel, Daredevil. Of course, Daredevil's still good. Amazing Spider-Man, even though the last page of issue 2 left a bad taste in my mouth, all the pages leading up to that have been fantastic.
I like that one too.
Trying to think of what else from... I think that's pretty much it from Marvel. DC, Batman. Tom King is just doing amazing on Batman. I personally enjoy Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. And then indie, I would say, like one of the great standbys going on a couple of years now has been Mark Waid's Archie. Is still fantastic. So those are my suggestions.
Cool. All right, Carl, here's my question for you.
All right.
Do you see any coincidence that there are more bears showing up since I came back from Colombia?
I mean, I feel at this point we do have enough data to draw a line between bear appearances and Allen appearances.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope at least with the Orchard Park bear, I hope they just trank him and send him on his way.
Yeah.
We don't have to. Can we not kill the bear, please?
Well, the last one got hit and was injured badly.
So, well, they could have helped him. There are bear doctors, you know.
All right. Follow-up question for Carl. Carl, will you finally admit on air that I was right about Windjammers coming to Switch? Remember, I said this would happen months ago when it was announced SNK would release its collection on the Switch.
See, Alan, I'm baffled because as a teacher, you have an understanding of context.
I sure do.
The context in which you said Windjammers was coming out was on the SNK collection, to which I said, no, it is not. Because I got all excited that Windjammers was coming to Switch because you told me Windjammers is coming to Switch on the SNK collection. Excuse me. And it turned out it wasn't. I never at one point said that Windjammers would not come out on Switch. I'm very happy Windjammers has been announced on Switch, and you two better buy it because it's one of the most amazing games ever made.
Well, I will. Definitely will. All right, and Mr. Drew.
Yeah?
Here's your question. Drew, if you can pick a celebrity or a comedian to watch the next Avengers film, who would it be?
This is based on the Leslie Jones experience?
Yes. I would like to see.
Oh yeah, dude. If you ever get a chance, I know you don't watch the show.
Yeah.
But if you ever get a chance, go on YouTube, look up Leslie Jones watching episodes of Game of Thrones with Seth Meyers.
I think I've seen clips of this. It's bananas.
Oh my god, I would watch anything with Leslie Jones.
She's definitely my pick.
She's funny. So, any celebrity? Hey, any celebrity or whatever to watch anything with? Is that
No, the next Avengers
the next
film.
Avengers film with?
I would put in the caveat this would be your second viewing because you don't want to be distracted on the first viewing.
Yeah, God no. Does it have to be a celebrity?
Celebrity or comedian?
Celebrity or comedian?
Are you saying comedians aren't celebrities?
Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily, yeah.
This is a bit of a. I'm not super familiar with modern comedy, so it's hard to be relevant here. If he were still alive, I think watching basically anything with Mitch Hedberg would be quite an experience because he's like my favorite comedian ever. Although he does have superhero knowledge, though maybe not as Marvel focused, but maybe something with watching with Jerry Seinfeld might be kind of interesting since he was such a big superhero fan. So there you go.
Well, those are my questions.
Okay.
Cool. Thank
Cool.
you very much, Alan. All right, and moving on to Mr. J.J. Olasamino. Drew and Carl, given the recent debate on the forward progress of the show,
Yeah, it's a thing.
do you feel that you and Drew should change formats and cover the cinematic works of Kurt Russell and Jean-Claude Van Damme and record at Russell's Steakhouse?
Ooh.
You can call it Russell's and Brussels. If we could afford to eat at Russell's Steakhouse once a week, I would be all for that.
It's quality wordplay.
It's quality.
It's quality wordplay right there. It's got layers.
Yeah,
It's Brussels.
You gotta dive deep. It'd be an interesting podcast because, like, one week we do a Kurt Russell movie, yay! Next week we do a Van Damme movie.
I mean, his initial wave was okay.
Early Van Damme is
Yeah. Bloodsport, kickboxer.
What's the
What's the line?
What's the apex? Where does it start to descend?
I think once Dennis Rodman gets involved, you're on shaky ground. Probably.
You want to say Street Fighter?
I think he was on his way down.
Yeah, that was definitely a downturn. I mean, not Double Team, right? Because that would
Double Team was the one with Dennis Rodman.
No, Double Team was the one. It was him and him.
Yeah,
he played his own
twin.
brother.
I'm bringing up his IMDb now.
Oh wow, we're doing this. Okay,
we gotta know when the peak was, when the descent happened.
Okay,
all right. So
give me the filmography.
Now I'm bringing it up. All right, so we gotta go back. So many straight to DVD films.
Wow,
so many.
I'm impressed he even did that for a while. He was nowhere for a while.
Oh, you know what?
Go on.
I think the peak was right before Street Fighter.
Okay,
Time Cop.
Oh,
Time Cop is good.
It was
So
it was
before that.
It was not bad.
Before that was Universal Soldier. That was good.
It was good.
Double Impact,
Kind of.
like you said, was good.
Kind of.
Lionheart. The problem with Lionheart is it comes right after Kickboxer.
You could put Bloodsport, Lionheart, and Kickboxer in front of me and just intercut different scenes of each movie, and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
So I'm going to say the peak was Time Cop.
All right.
And then after that is when Street Fighter came out. Sudden Death, when he was the security guard in the hockey.
The hockey movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and then it.
Yeah,
then
we
it
were done by then.
goes-
That was it.
Yeah. The decline is steep.
Yeah.
So,
It's Time Cop.
Time Cop, man.
I think that's fair. I think that is fair. And he had a ridiculous mullet in that movie too.
Yep. Thing of beauty. Thing of beauty. Okay, Drew. We're less than a month out from Daddy Drew being a thing.
I know. What a world we live in.
If something were to happen later in the boy's life, as it has to be one or the other.
Uh-oh.
If something were to happen later in the boy's life and it has to be one or the other, would you rather the child become RoboCop or Swamp Thing?
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
Spectrum meet complete opposite ends.
I mean, Okay, so all right, let's weigh this out, shall we?
Okay.
For all intents and purposes, in either of these scenarios, my child is dead.
Yeah,
So
you're at least having a very bad day.
no, they're dead. And in one scenario, they're brought back to, I'm air quoting, life in a cybernetic body with their memory kind of wonky.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they're not really the same, and they don't really remember who they are, but they kind of do, but not really. So it's not really the same person anymore. On the other hand...
So can I just throw in a little bonus to the RoboCop scenario?
Mm-hmm.
He could be a portable Wi-Fi hotspot.
I mean, in 2018, I hope he would have that ability.
Yeah.
So maybe in 87, no, not so much. But now, yeah, I expect that. Okay, on the other hand, were he Swamp Thing, I mean, regeneration, the ability to teleport basically anywhere in the world because plant life is ubiquitous. In intergalactic as well, so he would have a lot of ability to traverse the stars and whatnot. Be connected to the green. He's in touch with life and the environment, and I'm cool with all that stuff. You know, that's all good stuff. And I could still hold conversations, and his memory would be intact. But here's the rub. Swamp Thing is not actually the same person.
Not Alec Holland.
It's not Alec Holland, so it wouldn't be my son either. It's a elemental spirit that thinks it's a person. So even though it has all the memories and experiences and whatnot, it's really not that person. But then we get into the whole question of what does that really mean anyway? Because then you get into like Star Trek land where
reel it in.
Every time you step on the transporter, is it a suicide machine and a copy of you is made somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? When you go to bed at night, Carl, how do you know you don't die and wake up someone else? You don't know that.
Make a choice, Drew.
A good rule of life: when in doubt, choose RoboCop.
Okay. That's that's legit. Carl, did you take into consideration my idea for giving Alan his own segment on the show each week where he answers his own questions via Skype?
Or
coffee break or mocha minutes spring to mind?
Mocha minutes?
Look at me. I'm so far ahead of the curve. I answered the question before it was even asked.
Wow.
All right. Thank you, Alan and Jay, of course, for your questions.
Yeah, we thought about it, and here we are.
Yeah. So, as you heard in our weeks and whatnot, and with things going on in lives and schedules and craziness going on, we didn't watch the episode of Jessica Jones.
I have not had a chance.
You haven't had a chance.
I mean, I would have, but I've been stuck in these like late afternoon training sessions for work, and they're going till like 6 o'clock. I don't go until like 6:30, and it's like last 2 days, and I have 2 more days to do. It's ridiculous, and here we are, and I haven't had a chance to watch Jessica Jones.
So it's just going to be kind of a news show, but fortunately, we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh,
some of it will be like big conversation stuff. Ours just like, hey, cool, look, this happened.
Okay.
So yeah. Let's. Where do we want to start?
Has there been a feel for where we're at with all this show
the poll
development?
The poll that was put up on Twitter, I believe, ends tomorrow.
All right, so we'll wait.
I believe it's currently at keep the show the way it is.
Oh, well,
so
thank you all for that.
We may have to, and probably are of all that. So we may or may not have to override the 6 people who voted. In the poll.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll disappoint 6 people,
Yep.
but if like 60, okay, well,
So we'll start with stuff that just popped out today. It was confirmed that we will have Nick Fury and Maria Hill in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay, so we're confirming that number 1, that they're alive again, and number 2, that it takes place after Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah. Yep. Again, kind of going back to one of the debate, is it great to be living in this time? Is it not, with all the information we have and whatnot? So two more characters you could check in the safe box.
Swerve, bro. It takes place before Infinity War. Like Ant-Man. It just kind of dovetails into it. That'd be a cheat, though, wouldn't it?
I don't think they'd do that considering how long after
Infinity
War or Avengers 4 it's coming out. So, but I think this is cool. I think that'll be an interesting chemistry between Spider-Man and Nick Fury.
You do realize what they're doing, right?
What?
They're doing the Peter Parker Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. gimmick. Remember that What If issue?
Well, no, that's been the whole like Peter Parker, Nick Fury things. They've been doing that a lot in like a lot of the animated series. So yeah, this definitely has precedence.
Okay.
So yeah, but cool.
Yeah, sure.
Alan, any thoughts on?
I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Having Samuel Jackson, and I think in the recent spectacular, the one on Disney Spider-Man, like Fury, Coulson, and Maria Hill was involved heavily with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're trying to take that angle. I could be wrong. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed too, in Infinity War, it was just caught. Obsidian Maw had what looks to be Captain Marvel's costume on his belt.
Really?
Yeah, if you look it up,
We'll have the Blu-ray next week, right? Next week?
Yeah, next week, the 14th.
Okay.
But I saw it. It was on the internet. It was on various sites. I saw it Reddit. They zoomed in Obsidian Maw, the big Hulk-looking guy.
Yeah.
On his right side, there's like a little red, blue, and gold thing, and they assume it's part of Captain Marvel's costume. So there could be a little tie, or it could be.
It's a wink.
Yeah.
I mean, like when Iron Man had Cap's shield in his workshop or whatever.
Right. But people are buzzing all over on the internet right now.
Let them buzz.
Let the internet buzz.
By the way, I saw Infinity War twice when I came back on the plane.
That's pretty cool.
So I was like, 3.5 hours.
I saw Justice League on a plane.
Yeah, how did that go?
Stunk then too. It's terrible.
So, speaking of the DC stuffs, we officially have a Batwoman.
There's a show, right?
Did we discuss last week that Batwoman's getting her own show after she's introduced in the crossover event? Yeah, probably. Actress Ruby Rose has been cast as Batwoman. Ruby Rose currently is in Orange is the New Black, and she's done like a bunch of action films here or there. I mean, I don't see anything that leads me to believe this is necessarily a horrible casting.
She's a name. She's been on TV shows, so it seems like a natural thing.
Yeah.
She hasn't led a show, but this is maybe a big break for her.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how she's introduced, and because they're going to introduce her in the crossover, like once a season, all the shows cross over. And then the next season, I think, is when her show starts. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to handle this.
We just want to know if they're going to mention Batman, or is he off limits? Because you know how they operate over there. Yeah. It's weird.
But they're going to mention Batman in Gotham, Drew.
I'd have to care about Gotham to have a weigh in on this.
Yeah, not many people do.
I know Gotham's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing. So,
from the good side of DC live action, we move now to the dumpster fire.
So this is the good side.
It was reported earlier in the week that Warner Brothers is officially developing a Supergirl film.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Why? We have a show. People seem to like the show.
To answer the question of why on itself, because we're living in a world where Supergirl is an established commodity.
Okay, but this is the company that can't make a good Superman movie. We're going to trust them to make a Supergirl movie? Again, we've got the show. It's right there. People like the show.
Point, counterpoint. They did make a good Wonder Woman movie, so.
Oh, see, I didn't think. Okay,
maybe they're kind of steering into what they do well.
They did it right once. That's one out of like 6 attempts.
So they're not the Cleveland Browns.
No.
They're just the Detroit Lions.
Oh, okay. So if that's their angle, they think that just making them all women will solve their problems.
I'm not saying that's their angle. I'm just saying it's,
That's.
I don't think it'll happen. I think this will be one of those development hell ones.
It could happen.
Right.
It shouldn't happen.
Nope. Totally agree. It's just like they have a hit show with Supergirl on CW. And in my opinion, I don't think there's any point to making a Supergirl movie unless you're having Melissa Benoist cast as her.
Was it Benoist? Whatever.
Or Benoist. Yeah, you're correct.
I don't know how to say her name.
It's the same thing. Like I said, they're doing the Flash movie again. It's just like
no, they're not. Hang on. Let's pause for a moment.
Allegedly,
let's pause for a moment. That show is very successful.
Yes,
and there was a time when, sure, 2 versions could exist, right?
Right.
But I think now that show is so ingrained on geek culture subconsciousness. Yeah. I don't even watch it, but I know all the memes about it, and people are really dialed into the Flash show. There is no demand for more cinematic Flash at all.
No.
We don't need 2 of this. We like this one over here. We have him. He's cool. We like this one.
Yes.
Ezra, you can go away, buddy. Thank you. Go be quirky in some other movie.
We're good here.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So yeah, no, I'm with you, Alan. I don't get you have such. But again, it's that old pre-2008 way of thinking. Well, that's television. Well, those are the comics. We're doing this stuff over here. It's just not. It just doesn't work anymore. So yeah. All right, on to more enjoyable things.
Are we still in the dumpster fire?
No, we're not in the dumpster fire.
Oh.
That was the only, sorry. What do you want me to do? Okay,
did you see Zack Snyder confirmed the identity of Dead Robin?
Cast in the Joker movie.
Yeah, whatever.
There you go.
Did you see that Zack Snyder confirmed the identity of Dead Robin in Batman vs Superman?
Did I see? No. Do I care?
Well, when you think Dead Robin, who do you think of?
Jason Todd.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I'm going to guess he said it was Dick Grayson.
It was, yes, Dick Grayson.
Because, yes.
Yes, because, the same reason that we shot Jimmy Olsen in the face.
Yeah.
In the start of the film.
Yeah.
All right, so on to a company who knows what they're doing, Disney.
Mostly, yeah.
We have discussed a couple times the upcoming live-action Star Wars television series with Jon Favreau, and more than one occasion when we have discussed it, the question of budget.
Oh, this little gem. Yeah.
Because, granted, it's Disney and they got that mouse money. But a live-action Star Wars series, you would think, would have a pretty big budget.
Yes.
The budget has been revealed. 10 episodes, $100 million. That's not a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That for a television series is not a lot of money.
That is a
Game of
lot
Thrones
of money.
spends almost that much per episode.
No, they don't. No,
yes, they do.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
they do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They spend a ton of money.
They don't spend $100 million an episode.
Alan,
The economics of that don't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, internet that for me, please. There's no way. That's bananas.
So so $100 million, 10 episodes. I don't think it's a huge budget, which indicates that it might be like a smaller scale series, which I don't think either one of us would necessarily be opposed to.
You don't think that's a big budget? Okay, I mean, I guess I'm wrong, but to me that sounds insane
for a Star Wars live action series for 10 hours. When you think that like a 2-hour Star Wars film costs, I think like $250 million.
Technology has come so far that you don't need to spend that much money to make a good Star Wars TV show. In fact, I would rather they don't spend that much money to make it.
No, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, what does this kind of indicate as far as the direction they're taking with the show? Alan, you got some answers for us over there?
So this right here is according to a report from Variety. The Game of Thrones cost a staggering $15 million apiece.
Okay, 15. That's a far cry from 100.
He's got a point. It is
Okay.
far cry.
$10 million an episode is a lot of money, even if it's Star Wars. That is so much money. And so I'm just looking at the big price tag. 100 mil. They're going to spend 100 mil on a series they're going to put on a streaming service.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about all that. Especially I'm sorry, I'm gonna put it out there again. You gotta pump the brakes on the Star Wars.
It's Disney. 100 million of them is pocket change.
Well, after they're spending 60-some billion to acquire Fox, maybe they're not going to be so judicious with just throwing money around.
Here's one way to think about it. They just spend 60-some billion to get Puck.
Puck?
I just try to think of like the most obscure mutant character.
Oh. I mean, all right, look. Maybe they think they're going to make that 100 million back when they re-release the Star Wars unaltered trilogy on Blu-ray. Now that they own the rights to all of them again,
they would make that back in a.
I mean, I'm buying it, so
Yeah.
okay, maybe it's not that much. I don't know. To me, it's not my money. What do I care? But it's just $100 million on a TV show. Hey, go nuts.
Go medium.
Not to mention, did you see what the rumor is it's going to be about?
I heard something about possibly the Mandalorians.
Yeah, so it's going to take place after Jedi, but before Episode 7. Because this franchise doesn't know how to move forward at all. We have to just keep mining the past. Anyway, Mandalorians, huh?
You can't, depending on the release date of the series, you can't necessarily move forward past past Episode 9 because you don't want to spoil anything that
it won't be out before Episode 9. I promise you that.
No, you're right. But I'm fine with that. It's a era of the franchise that Favreau is pretty well versed in because he voiced one of the Mandalorians in the Clone Wars series. So yeah, I'm Jon Favreau's doing Star Wars. I'm interested. Sign me up. The guy who gave us Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
He has a good track record. He also did Jungle Book.
I mean, I didn't see Jungle Book, so I'll take your word for it.
It's really good.
I did hear it was good. I heard
it was really good.
It's a Star Wars TV show. What I don't know. Whatever.
There hasn't been a bad Star Wars TV show.
Couldn't tell you. I'm not going to watch them.
There have been bad Star Wars TV specials.
Yep.
Well, it depends.
of the holiday variety.
I mean, yeah, it's objectively terrible, but at the same time, it's so bad it almost comes around to being incredible.
Yeah. So this past week, this past weekend, two events kind of happened on the same weekend that, were I rich and had means to go wherever and do whatever, I would have myself a bit of a quandary. Because this past weekend was the EVO Fighting Game Championships, and this past weekend was also Gen Con. Gen Con being the largest board game convention in the world?
Yep.
Okay, in the world. So, but starting with EVO, some news coming out of EVO. The crown of the crown jewel of EVO has always been Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
This year, Dragon Ball Z Fighters kind of stole its lunch. It had more participants, and at one point, the stream of Dragon Ball Z Fighters had Twitch's highest viewership for EVO. Which is saying something. This game's been on a tear all year, and it's just been this huge. It's one of those things that checks all the boxes, like the style of game it is, in the absence of a I don't want to say legitimate Marvel versus Capcom game, but in the absence of a good Marvel versus Capcom game, really gave fans of that style of fighting game what they wanted. And then the IP, the Dragon Ball Z IP, just being something that pretty much everybody in the fighting game community is familiar with, has that attraction to it. It's like the perfect storm of things, and this game is really, really taken off. So, whereas I'm not surprised that it kind of eclipsed Street Fighter at EVO, it still is worth mentioning, given EVO has been predominantly a Street Fighter tournament for its lifespan.
Right place, right time, and if you think about the longevity of each IP, I mean, ultimately, Street Fighter is an old IP, and
Dragon Ball's older.
It is, but there's a generation of kids that grew up with Dragon Ball that are now coming of age, where they're becoming adults now. They're in their 20s, probably early 30s, possibly at the oldest, I would say. This is like the time of the Dragon Ball generation, and now they have this game, which is a very good. So it's a great game for an audience that is right now spending money and active. So it's kind of, like you said, it's kind of a perfect storm. Whereas Street Fighter, it had its day when we were of a certain age, and it's kept going, but its relevance, in my opinion, has declined. Even though the fighting game community keeps it going, Street Fighter as a whole, it keeps mining the same old well. So it's like Street Fighter 2, and that's kind of what everyone knows in a way. I think Dragon Ball is a little more universally. It's a little more universal in that it had an animated series, it had a manga. That was a lot of people's introduction to it, where Street Fighter was mainly just a game.
I'm going to disagree when you say Street Fighter's relevance has declined. That's just not the case.
Okay.
In as far as in the fighting game community or in the mainstream gaming, Street Fighter is still. I mean, it was in decline. Like fighting games as a whole went through kind of like a desert period where we weren't getting much of anything. Then 2008, right. Street Fighter 4 comes out and reestablishes the brand. And
yeah, but even that wasn't on par with the fever pitch that 2 had. Like it was a return to form. I would never dispute that at all. But it is not. It's not as relevant as it was when it was the hottest thing in the world. Is what I'm saying.
I would say it was more of a fever pitch than 2, only because of the accessibility of the game with its already built-in notoriety. Because you had the introduction of online play and things like that. I'd say it attracts more, and plus you can't discount, Street Fighter 2 first out. You got to pay to play it each time you want to play, where this one you just pay for it once, you can play all you want. So, but we also, so that was big.
They're not greenlighting Jean-Claude Van Damme movies with Street Fighter nowadays, buddy.
No, but
that was a 90s thing. That was hot.
Raul Julia.
Rest in peace.
I'm not saying the movie killed him, but I'm not saying it didn't.
Jean-Claude Van Damme doing that sonic blow.
You know that kick you saw in the trailer? Killed him.
So we also got a new character announcement for Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Cooler.
Ah, yes, Cooler.
It's coming to the series.
Older brother Frieza.
Yes. And proud we are of all of that. I like the game. I enjoy it. I don't have the time to dedicate to being good at it. And I haven't kept up with the DLC at all. But the game is fantastic.
It's very solid. And now I'm glad that there's the beta version on the Switch now.
Yes.
It's coming out on Switch, huh?
It's coming out on Switch.
See, look at this.
Yep.
See,
they're starting to come around, Drew.
You're getting your third-party stuff.
By the way, Octopath
Admittedly,
Traveler.
after everyone else gets it, but still, I'm happy to see it.
Oh, also, the note, folks, Octopath Traveler has gone over 1 million copies already.
That's actually...
It's hard to keep up with demand.
That's almost astounding to me. Like I knew it was going to be popular, but that's very
in Japan.
popular.
You can't get any physical copies. Europe, you can't get any physical copies. I think here in the U.S. too, you can't get any physical copies.
That's insane,
and it's in high demand.
That's
awesome.
It's awesome.
It's a great game.
It's a great game. I mean,
really
it scratched an itch that clearly people wanted their old school RPGs back.
Yep.
Sorry, Square, but your melodramatic voice acted crap over the last 15 years is maybe not what people wanted all along.
It's got some voice acting in this one.
Yeah, but I can skip it.
Yes, you can.
I can just keep pushing the A button. I'm good to go. I don't gotta listen to Titus do that stupid fake laugh. Stop. You stop that.
So, just jumping back to Evo really quick. Street Fighter, though, not without its own big moments at Evo. Not only they had already announced the season of characters and who was coming out, so it was expected that Sagat trailer was going to be shown at the end of Evo. But it wasn't at first. Mm-hmm. At first, they surprised everyone by showing the trailer for the new character G, just letter G. He is the president of the world, and
like we have,
and they showed his trailer, and then showed Sagat's trailer, which was a big surprise. And then even bigger surprise was that they said both characters would be available the next day.
Oh.
So that was really cool. Sagat has got a pretty sweet look to him. He's not like the massive bulk monster he was in the Alpha series, but he's not like thinned down like he is in the original Street Fighter games. He's got a really nice look. They brought back his original Street Fighter 2 stage. Like the classic, the
reclining
statue.
Buddha?
Yep, the
Yeah,
reclining
nice.
Buddha. He's got a tiger with him in his intro, so you know, because he does tiger stuff.
He does.
Yes, so everybody is very happy Sagat is back.
She never took him out.
It's not that they took him out. It's just, you know,
I've thought this about in fighting games, especially, well, mainly fighting games. Ever since I was a kid, when you make a sequel, never take people away. Just add. I hate to see people taken away because everyone is someone's favorite.
I disagree with that. I agree that everyone's someone's favorite. I think that you need to have room to grow, and just rehashing the same old characters kind of hinders that.
Still put new people in, but don't take away. It's Mortal Kombat 3. It's like, oh yeah, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and they're all gone.
Yes.
What are you doing to me here?
No Goro.
There's no truth in this art.
You're the one who always wants new things in the story to move forward.
I know. Hey, look, I'm not saying it makes sense, but
yeah,
that's what I think about it anyway.
So that was Evo. Congratulations to Problem X for bringing home, I believe, Europe's first Evo title, defeating reigning champion Tokido in the finals. But the other event that was going on this past weekend was Gen Con.
Oh, yes.
And oh, boy, the things that got announced at Gen Con.
I should just point out that if you would have went to either one of them, you would have probably been the best smelling person there. I'm just going to let that lie.
I disagree with that as well, especially for Evo. I think you're...
Oh, no. I'm
not saying that.
I'm confident.
I'm not...
I'm very confident in that statement.
I'm not saying that element is not there in a small respect, at least at Evo, but it's much... Yeah, it's not what you're thinking.
Okay.
But Gen Con, Alan.
Yes.
What did you hear out of Gen Con that got you excited? Now I'll talk about what I heard.
Gen Con, definitely games that we both agree on. Definitely Reef was a huge hit. Definitely a hit.
Reef being the follow-up to Azul.
Azul, yep. Also, the Azul made Sagrada game was also a huge hit, which is Azul. I forgot the name of it, but it's pretty much
it's
Azul,
Sagrada, but it's Azul.
Yeah. So pretty much the company who made Azul says, "Oh, so you're just trying to take our money away? Well, we're just going to make our own game with yours."
They got a little hurt feelings that Sagrada took some of their thunder from this past year, so they just decided to do "quote unquote" a better version of Sagrada.
Right.
That's some spiteful.
That's some wrath right there.
So at what point? Wrath. So at what point can we expect Sagrada to respond in kind with like, "Oh, well, here's our new game, Blue."
No, they just made it.
See?
The only thing that Sagrada did was have an expansion to make it more. So now it's up to 6 players, which is pretty cool.
Okay, that's good.
Another game to note that was also big was Coimbra, which is based on a Portuguese town, I believe. It's a 4-player game, and it's a worker placement. It's a huge hit. And Scarabaya is another huge hit that was over there. So
what's Scarabaya?
Scarabaya is a 4-player game, and it's you're all archaeologists, and you're trying to establish camps across 4 corners of the globe and uncover the long lost golden scarabs of Scarabaya. So that's what Scarabaya is. It's a huge hit. Gloomhaven, which I got, and they also announced an expansion to that to add more players. And by the way, folks, Gloomhaven is a very expensive game. It's $140. So, but it's a legacy game. It's a legacy game.
The box alone is £20.
Yeah, I got the box. It's still sealed up. It's £20.
Wow!
But it's a legacy game, and it's right now. If you go to,
if I may,
yep.
What's in the box?
Everything.
What is £20?
Like, there's a lot of components,
miniatures and stuff.
Miniatures and components.
It's kind of like, remember when we tried to play Time Stories?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gloomhaven's kind of like that, to where it's like a continuing. You can only play it through once.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. But apparently it's like really freaking good.
Yeah. They also made, right now, Asmodee Digital is already making Gloomhaven digitally now.
Okay.
It's got that much buzz.
Will that be $140?
Oh, no.
I hope not.
But yeah, I mean, but I have Gloomhaven, and if you go to Board Game Geek right now, it's the #1 game. I mean, nothing can touch it right now. And
it's a big time commitment.
Yes.
Which is why we probably don't bust out for Friday nights. Because it wouldn't be just one Friday night. We'd have to play it for
several
6 months straight.
Oh. So this thing's going to command room in your house for a duration of time, in other words.
No, because actually the box is like really well organized and structured, so you just kind of like get everything back in the box when you're done.
All right.
But yeah, Gen Con also have like a fighting game tournament over there too. But
they had a fighting game tournament at Gen Con?
Yeah. I went there last year. There's
Why
so
would
many
you bother
rooms.
doing that on the same weekend as Evo?
I'm willing to bet it's not the same players.
Right.
The pot's probably not quite as sweet.
Yeah. But they do it. And they also have a cosplay contest, and they have other things. So it's a huge event.
Gen Con takes place in Indianapolis. It's Lucas Oil Stadium, right?
Yep. It's Lucas Oil Stadium and the surrounding hotels. It's gotten that big.
Yeah. Gen Con, Drew, is where you find the odor you were referring to.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
I'm sure.
It's true.
They have to post signs reminding people.
There's signs, and they make an announcement that says, please take a shower. I swear to God. I was over there. It's like, reminder to please take a shower.
Why do all my hobbies have smelly people?
So
comics, wrestling, games.
Is that all you got for Gen Con?
And the other one was Hitler's Reich.
Wait, what?
Topical.
I swear, no, I'm not making this
You
up.
can't just say the title and move on to the next subject there, Alan.
So Hitler's Reich is no stacks of armies, no hexes. Players fight over Europe across the Atlantic and Mediterranean into Russia using combat mechanisms similar to traditional card game of war. So basically, you're Hitler. You're commanding your army, trying to take over Europe.
I don't want to be Hitler.
It's very popular with the MAGA crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's 2 hours to play. So if you like taking over Europe and want to be Hitler, you can do that.
Yeah. No thanks. I'm good. So Gen Con. Oh boy, did Fantasy Flight Games just bring a cornucopia of awesome to Gen Con?
Oh boy.
So Fantasy Flight Games, the makers of, they pretty much have the Star Wars license for all. I'm not sure if it's all board games, but definitely for miniatures games and card games, because licenses like that are kind of weird. Like we've talked about in the past on the show, like television license and film license being different. So like board games is one type of license, miniature games is another type of license. Mm-hmm. Card games and the whole thing. Anyway, basically right now, board gaming, Fantasy Flight Games is the home of Star Wars and of X-Wing. And oh, gentlemen, did they bring the love to to Gen Con? Well, first off, Gen Con was the X-Wing 2.0 was available to the public for the first time at Gen Con. Mm-hmm. All the stuff that's coming out in the first wave, which is the core set, the X-Wing, the Y-Wing, the TIE Advanced, the Fire Spray, the Fang Fighter, and Lando's Millennium Falcon. And it does have the escape pod that ejects, and you can use that in the game. All that was available. There were some version 2.0 tournaments, and apparently it was all great. 2.0 is getting a lot of great feedback and buzz about it. It releases to the general public September 13th, so we're just
a couple weeks away.
How's that edition on your house coming along?
I got to get a big bag for all my 1.0 stuff and just start moving those cards out and whatnot. But there were definitely some announcements. They announced the Wave 2 of 2.0, which will have the conversion kits for the First Order and the Resistance, which are now splitting off into their own factions. They announced the AZ-1 A-Wing, which was the A-Wing we saw in The Last Jedi, kind of the new version of the A-Wing.
All right.
Sweet-looking model. They announced the Mining Guild TIE Fighter, which you pointed out looks like Pac-Man.
Yes, it does, actually.
I very much agree with that. When you said it, I was like, holy crap, it really does. And then they also announced, this was a big announcement, to coincide with the 10th anniversary of Clone Wars, they announced that Clone Wars ships would be making their way to X-Wing, and they announced the Jedi Starfighter, and also the Sith Infiltrator, which was Darth Maul's ship from Episode 1. It wasn't in a lot of scenes, but I love this ship. It's just a really cool looking ship. But the Republic and the Separatists will be eventually split off into their own factions, which I'm not like, I'm cool with these ships coming in. I'm not sure about splitting them off in their own factions, because I think you're kind of starting to dilute the well a little bit. But they've proven to be...
Welcome to Star Wars spin-offs, my friend.
They've proven to be excellent at game design, so I will have a wait and see alongside that, which basically just means I've got more ships to buy.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm okay with that, because I love this game. But the biggest announcement from Fantasy Flight Games, metaphorically and literally, was that the long-demanded item will be coming to Star Wars Armada. The Super Star Destroyer is coming to Star Wars Armada.
And I think my first question I asked you is it how to scale is it? Because if it were to scale with the other ships, it would be the size of the table, or bigger. It's
Fantasy Flight Games approaches with the philosophy of, does it look right sized? So it's not like the X-Wing ships are kind of like a 1-to-1 scale for the small ships and the big ships, not so much like the epic ships. But for like Armada, for most part, it's to scale. But other things are kind of what they eyeball and say, okay, this is right sized.
Okay.
So, but Super Star Destroyer, the model itself is 2 feet long.
It's the size of a small child.
And it will cost $200.
Wow.
Which sounds like a lot. But when you consider the quality of the model you're getting.
Sure.
And you look at stuff that like comes out from like Sideshow collectibles and things like that, it's not a horrible price.
Can I just point out that they're going to commit to putting out a Super Star Destroyer for $200 for a game, but Hasbro wants to kickstart a Jabba sail barge?
Yep. That's a valid point.
Come on. Anyway.
So yeah. So those were announced. Did you also see, Alan, the new game that Fantasy Flight Games announced? Keyforge?
Keyforge. I heard you talk about it.
This was the new hotness at Gen Con this year. Apparently,
any relation to Dice Forge?
No, completely different. Keyforge is a card battle game. It's designed by Richard Garfield.
Oh, guys, he's the godfather of Magic.
Yeah.
And the King of Tokyo.
But apparently it's not like an LCG, which is limited card game, in which packages come out and you know what cards are in the packages, and that's the expansion. Nor is it a CCG, which is collectible card game, which is like Magic or Pokemon, where you buy blind packs and you hope to get something good.
Right.
AKA your birthday and Christmas present from me since I've known you.
Thank you.
I know you appreciate them, but I guess like you buy decks that come in a box and you have to play the deck as it's purchased in the box.
Oh, so that's like similar to Magic Commander. So you have your, I know you guys don't know.
I don't know. It's a world that's foreign to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you play a little bit of Magic, so
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend checking it out. So that was it from Gen Con, and now we come to the final two news stories this week, the biggest two news stories this week. First off, it was announced earlier this week that coming soon, we will get to Make It So Again. Patrick Stewart announced he is returning to the role of Jean-Luc Picard, Starfleet captain, in a new show, which, from what I read, takes place after Next Generation. Supposedly the next chapter in Picard's life. I am 100% okay with this.
Yes, this is okay by me. I'm curious if anyone else will possibly show up intermittently.
You gotta assume.
Yeah, you gotta assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool, man. I've wanted a post TNG show or something for a long time now, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Obviously it's going to be on the streaming service, so... Yeah.
Well, there's the rub, ain't it?
There is the rub. But still, like... Yeah, you got to assume everyone's going to kind of show up at some point or another. Maybe not so much Tasha Yar, but, you know...
Well, I mean, you know...
But I think this is really cool, and it's just like... He was just like, you know, considering the last thing we got was Nemesis...
Yeah, we could use some better closure. To be fair, of all things, the prequel comic to the first relaunched Trek movie, the J.J. Abrams movie, the first one.
Yes.
You know that the plot involves Spock coming back in time.
Yeah.
The prequel comic takes place post TNG, and Data is the captain of the Enterprise, and Picard's an admiral, and like everyone kind of shows up, and they're all like on all hands on deck to discuss the problem with the supernova or whatever that was going to kill Romulus and all that stuff. Like it's all like the build up to how Spock decided, okay, I'm going to go back in time to fix up. Like it's the prequel comic to the movie, and it's really cool just to have, even in comic form, just to have Picard and Data and the Enterprise and all that crew together again, but later on in their lives. So we're getting a show. Okay, cool. Bring it on. I just hope if they're going to make Picard an admiral or something, he doesn't follow the trend of Starfleet admirals who are jerks. Because if you seriously go back and watch Star Trek, like every admiral is a jerk.
Yeah. Kirk was an admiral for a little bit.
Yeah, he had a moment. Then he got demoted.
Then he kirked it.
To be fair, he's lucky they didn't like put him in prison because he kind of commandeered a ship and destroyed it.
Yeah,
but he also, saved the Earth.
It was a ship that was scheduled to be decommissioned. So
still,
it's not like he crashed Daddy's new car.
And
they gave him the keys to Daddy's new car,
and then they gave him a new one.
Yeah, I mean,
like, oh, here we're sorry, you bad boy, you're bad for crashing the car.
Here's a new
car. Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's get more Picard.
Do you think Shatner is secretly kind of upset because he's kind of expressed some regret that like he didn't quite get to go out the way he necessarily wanted, even though he did, but he didn't?
I mean,
I don't think he really cares.
Yeah, I don't think either.
Get a life. It's just a TV show, Jay.
Alan, any thoughts on the return of Picard?
Yeah, I actually like Picard, and I'm looking forward to it. Just like you said, what if there's other more, old casts that start to pop up?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Great Captain, not my favorite, though.
Michael Dorn is on the phone right now.
Yeah, probably.
He's hungry.
Is LeVar Burton on the phone, too?
Does he need to be? I mean, yeah.
I mean, he's still collecting his reading rainbow checks,
bring
too.
all of them.
Bring them all in.
Yeah.
Whoopi, too.
Some
Jonathan
point or
Frakes is growing the beard right now.
I don't think he ever shaved it. Did he?
Even better.
Yeah.
No, he did. You remember? Did he shave? He shaved it for Nemesis.
For one of the movies.
Yeah. What a bad call that was.
Yeah.
Whoever made that movie, it's like, did you not realize the quality of the show went up dramatically when he grew the beard?
You could draw a line.
You can draw a line. It's a TV trope. It's called growing the beard. It's the line of demarcation when the show improves. It's a TV thing.
Yeah. Sisko was always my favorite captain.
He's the most morally complex.
He punched Q once.
I'm a staunch Picard and Kirk guy. Mostly Picard though.
Yeah, I'm not poo-pooing either one of them. I'm just saying personal favorite is always Sisko.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so there's that. Last news story of the week. Most show-relevant news story of the week. Earlier this week, it was confirmed. Not only what we already knew is that Daredevil Season 3 was coming, but gentlemen, Daredevil Season 3 is coming this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
2018.
That's surprising, man, because fall is Iron Fist, right?
Yeah, Iron Fist should be coming out next
Iron
month.
Fist is in September.
Yep. So that means
Daredevil is going to be, I would say, either November or December.
All right. Let's do this.
Here we go.
Show me Bullseye.
Yeah, I would say I want to see Bullseye in his classic costume.
You're not going to see the classic Bullseye.
Well,
costume.
he better have a mask.
You should know better.
He better have a mask.
Put a mask on. That's all I ask. That's all I ask for.
We just need the mask.
Give the man a mask.
The mask.
Yes.
Yeah. We watched a movie where he didn't have a mask, and I don't want to see that again.
Well, do we? Let me ask you this, because I think we talked about this in a recent episode. Do we need the mask, or we just need like something on his head with the target on it? Like a beanie or something.
No, beanie's not going to work. Has to be the mask.
I want the mask.
I don't think the mask works.
It works. We'll make it work.
Look at Iron Fist. They got him the mask.
They gave him the mask?
Yeah, his mask is better.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
No. Bullseye is iconic. Iron Fist is,
Iron Fist is immortal.
Jay's smiling somewhere right now. Let the man have a mask. Please? Pretty please? Pretty please?
It's more important to you than it is to me, and I get why it's important, and I'm totally fine with that. Just as long as you can like hit stuff.
Yeah. I want Marvel to steer into their costumes a little harder than they tend to do.
Both film and television.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, clearly we're all on board here.
Can we tone up Cap like 10%?
Oh, he'll look great in the next film for sure. No, I'm not. Cap's fine. They do well by Cap. Cap, he's all good. Just keep the mask on more. But we've discussed this before. Yeah. That's a movie star thing. They got to have the mask off. So whatever. But in general,
I think
the
tone perfect in the first Cap film. The color tone of the costume.
Yeah.
Still prefer Winter Soldier. I think it was good.
Winter Soldier's like both costumes in that movie are great.
Yeah.
Like his stealthy shield suit looks awesome, and then when he gets the it's a revamped World War II costume in the latter half of that movie, and it looks great as well. His Age of Ultron suit is pretty good too.
A little dark, a
little bit, but it looks
not DC
good.
dark though.
No. What could be? In any case,
but that's why I said just like 10%.
But like,
the color,
for example, like Crossbones or something. Like he had like a hard mask on, and it wasn't a skull, and he didn't have the crossed bones on his chest. Like they allude to it, but like all I'm saying is steer a little harder. let's just embrace what we are here.
Right.
Let Zemo put on a purple mask.
Exactly.
Rostify them all by 10%.
Marvelify them all by about 10%. Like, I'm okay with this.
Agreed.
I think fans are too nowadays. Daredevil's running around in a devil outfit, for God's sake. Like, come on. I'm okay with his villain with a ski mask on, with a little bullseye on the forehead.
Okay,
that works for me. It plays.
If it was more like like you said, ski mask, like a tactical mask,
sure,
yes.
that you see soldiers wear, I'd be totally okay with that.
Well,
but
yeah,
if it was like a costume, because I just don't think it would fit the tone of the Marvel Netflix shows.
Just give him some black tactical duds with a mask with the bullseye on the forehead. That's it, and maybe some white gloves.
White gloves aren't happening, Drew.
Come on, do it.
Well, if you think about it, they gave Doctor Strange his gloves.
They did.
Remember that?
It was awesome.
Yeah, that was the movies.
Exactly. Bullseye can have those white gloves.
Movies have a different tone, different feel from Netflix shows.
Yeah, but
and did Doctor Strange have the gloves outside of that post-credit scene?
Nope.
No, it was in the post-credit, and I think in Infinity War he had him for a hot minute, didn't he?
He had it for a hot minute, and then he had to take
they're
him off.
not like a permanent fixture.
The fact they went there at all, though, is that's impressive.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's some inside baseball. Like, the gloves. Okay.
Daredevil coming this year. That's pretty awesome.
Knowing what we know about the Disney streaming service, they're probably going to keep it off of there because it seems like the tone wouldn't mesh with what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But do we get a little concerned? Like, might this be it for Daredevil?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know how Netflix.
I could see it happening
decides.
both ways. Because they said like obviously all the films are going over to the streaming service, but everything that's been said since this whole streaming service stuff began is that the Netflix shows are staying with Netflix, and like I don't see why they don't just let them keep going because you're not losing anything.
No, I guess.
I mean, really, do you want to be able to watch Steamboat Willie 1 minute and then Wilson Fisk collapsing a head with a car door the next on?
Actually, well, you ask. I didn't really. Yeah, sure. No, I don't know. I guess also the reason why I ask is like, if you're doing the Born Again story, or some version of it, like that, I'd rather see this show go out on a high note and not peter out later on. So,
all right,
this could be it's got epic potential.
Yeah.
And if they deliver, it might be very hard to top. And I would hate to see Daredevil fall from grace. See what I did there? Do you see what I did there?
Yes, I did.
Got the armor costume in that storyline. Look at that. Circular. Back to the comics.
All right, that does it.
Back for that.
Bravo.
That does it for this week's news. Unless either of you guys have anything else.
Beware the wettening, Alan.
Yes, the wettening. That's all I can say.
Wetageddon.
Waterworld.
Waterworld.
We've said too much.
We've
said far too much.
All right, Alan, thank you very much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, guys, and enjoy that coffee.
Oh, we shall. All right, folks, that about does it for us here. If you like, you can find us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod, like our page. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, folks, Court